Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Two Asian Blokes for 2026. This is a podcast where we talk about Asian pop culture, film, TV shows, comic books, anime, music, food, video games, whatever we're feeling at the time, really. My name is Dan with H. With me, as always, my co-host, Tavi. Hey, Tavi. I almost forgot how to do the intro.
Yeah, no, he did a little bit of a remix.
Yeah, I should never do that. I should never improvise. Just follow the script.
Isn't a whole show improvise? I never prepare anything.
Yep. Totally.
Just
as improvised as Singles Inferno, Tavi.
Oh yes.
No scripting.
That's right. Have you been watching the new season?
I have. We're not going to cover it.
Yeah.
Just a heads up, guys. We're not going to cover it. It's fine. It's better than the previous season, but yeah.
Yeah, the previous season killed it. I was so bored. Yeah. And like, no more slop. Only quality stuff on this podcast.
This season is better though. There's a female Guan He in it. It's quite fun to watch.
Yeah, I've heard some of the discourse. I've seen it. I was like, oh yeah, cool. At least it's not boring. So there you go.
At least it's not boring. And that's our episode on Singles Inferno for this year, folks. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, that's it.
Before we go on, I just wanted to thank everybody that listened in to Jackie Chanuary, by the way. We got a very good response from Jackie Chanuary this year. Lots of people commenting in, lots of new subscribers. So thank you, guys. Welcome to the show. I wish we could do more of those videos throughout the year, but we're a pretty small operation here. But yeah, maybe we'll do more in the future. We'll definitely do Jackie Chanuary again.
Yeah, Jackie Chanuary is a staple now. Yeah, definitely
That's a Two Asian Blokes guarantee.
We'd definitely love to do more, but it depends on time
and energy. Now we're kicking off 2026 with a big one this time around, Tavi. We're doing four big movies,
yes.
4 new releases.
That's right.
Yep. We're going to be doing Return to Silent Hill, Iron Lung, Send Help, and No Other Choice. In that order, I'll put time codes in if you want to jump around. And yeah, we'll give you spoiler warnings and all that stuff if you haven't watched those movies yet.
Yeah.
Some of them are good. Not all of them.
Yeah, we're going to try to do a resolution, even though we've probably already broken the resolution of this year. Well, for me anyway, it's like trying to cover less slop. But yeah.
Well, I mean, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Let's start with the slop, shall we, Tavi?
Yeah, let's start with the slop. Return to Silent Hill.
Supernatural psychological horror film, loosely based on the video game Silent Hill 2 by Konami.
Loosely based is the key word. The movie that everyone hates and no one is talking about, and was probably forgotten by the time it was already released because there was barely any screenings, I think. There was only one screening a day.
Yeah, it was so hard to watch this film, and it was not worth the effort, if I'm going to be honest. This was sent out to die, right?
Yeah,
this was sent out to die for sure.
It's interesting because Christophe Gans was the original director of the first Silent Hill movie. So he directed this one.
Silent Hill 2006.
2006. Yeah.
Fucking 20 years ago.
Yeah, no, the fucking in the ancient times of the 2000s where, the industrial age of technology.
The age of Rebecca Black.
I think that wasn't Rebecca. Oh, was she? Yeah, anyway, that doesn't matter.
The age of Silent Hill 2, the original video game, 2001 video game.
It is, yeah. Well, it wasn't really well received the first time around, but people have sort of grown to appreciate the art direction to that film, and they think the atmosphere is really good.
Feels like something that would have been maligned because it doesn't really reflect the games that well.
Yeah. It's hard to do because Silent Hill is a medium designed for games because you are alone most of the time and you have the tools that games can offer that can enhance the atmosphere. But
a pipe.
Yeah. But like, I've only seen the first movie once. I watched it with you and a few friends. And my memory of it was like...
We didn't like it.
Yeah, it was just mid. Well, I thought some of it was pretty cool. There's some pretty iconic scenes in the first one where Pew Midhead rips the flesh off that
Dahlia Gillespie. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, and Sybil Shepherd gets torn apart by wires. That was kind of cool.
Yep.
But this one was sort of a passion project for Christophe Gans. And I'd heard through the years how much he'd wanted to return to Silent Hill and make another movie. For whatever reason, maybe he felt like he was too restrained by the first one. So he got his chance. So this is his passion project.
Okay.
Return to Silent Hill.
Yeah.
And it is significantly worse than his 2006 one. It looks worse.
I can't really comment on that because I haven't seen that 2006 one in a long time. Maybe we'll look back in this movie in 20 years, Tavi, and be like, actually, it wasn't bad compared to the slop that we're getting now. But at the moment,
I don't think so.
This film really took the wind out of my sails, Darby. I'd gotten off the back of watching like a few. I thought this movie was going to be at least fun to watch.
Yeah.
Wasn't.
It wasn't. I fell asleep. So I have a very fragmented perception of this movie. My memory of it is very fragmented, I should say. It's because I think I had to watch some people talk about the movie to sort of pick up the pieces of what was happening. And like
your mind was as fragmented as James's psyche or Mary's psyche. I don't really know what's going on.
If you play Silent Hill 2, that's basically the plot, but it's very much different to the movie.
We've done half a let's play of the remake. I'll link it here.
I remember there was a scene of nurses. And then I remember a reviewer saying that James, like John Wick's the nurses or something. Yeah. And like, I don't remember that. Like, does he do that? Does he beat them up or something?
Yeah, that's the most exciting part of the film, Tavi.
Really? I don't remember.
He like smashes them with the pipe a lot, and they're bursting like ceramic, which I don't think is a thing in the game. I don't know.
They're not.
A lot seemingly happens in this film, but also not very much happens in this film. I went in pretty blind into this film. Like the only thing that I'd seen going in was like some imagery, some still imagery.
Yeah.
Which looked pretty good.
My first impression of the imagery was Maria's wig.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that going in.
That was the first thing. And I was like, okay. That's not
one of the best examples of imagery in this film. I think some of it looks pretty good. I think some of it looks very video game by design. Like a lot of the shots kind of are meant to replicate the game. And some of the mood as well reflects the game. Like the delivery of the dialogue, I think, is quite video gamey at times. I feel like there is a bit of CGI smoothing on the main actor's face as well to kind of create that kind of uncanny feel of looking at a video game character, which I think all of that kind of like adds points to this film. But yeah, it really goes downhill from the start of the film.
A lot of people had issue with James just like sparking up that blunt and listening to old rock.
Like the characterization of James is quite odd. And I mean, I think that's where a lot of this falls down is probably just the changes from the source material, right? Like, because I guess this is a film that only fans of this series would want to watch. And you're really getting off to a bad start when you open the film with like a teenage-looking James sparking up a blunt and his wife, Mary, his wife in the game, who is like his main motivation throughout the course of the game, right? It's his girlfriend in the movie for some reason. Yeah, it's just his girl.
They're never married.
Yeah. And you start the movie off with a meet cute of them, which is it's a really strange direction to take.
It loses the mystery.
Especially when the actor that plays Maria later on is just the same actress that plays the wife, but just in a bad wig.
It's not very subtle. Yeah, a lot of people just didn't like Christophe Gans's direction. It seemed like he didn't understand the source material. You talked about how some of the dialogue is weird and sort of video gamey. I think in this version, it tried to do that, and I don't think it hit the mark. I think it just came off as bad dialogue. It is sort of... Well, Risky and I have started watching Twin Peaks recently.
Yeah.
And I've realized how much influence that has on Silent Hill and how much influence that has on bad student films. So
and M. Night Shyamalan, apparently.
And M. Night Shyamalan, it's very much, it feels M. Night Shyamalan. But I think if you don't have, I guess, that sort of innate weirdness that David Lynch has, it just doesn't really work. And somehow I think Christophe Gans or the characters in this film, it seemed like they were trying to intentionally write it that way, but it just didn't have the sauce or the spice that was in it that like those auteurs have, you know, and it just kind of felt like bad dialogue to me. Okay. It felt like what I imagine people would react to when they hear Squid Game English, you know? It's just,
just something not quite right. Sure.
Yeah. To be honest, though, when I watched this movie and it came out of the cinema, I'm not sure if this was because I was asleep for most of it, but I surprisingly wasn't as angry as I thought I was going to be.
Yeah.
Because I like the Silent Hill 2 story a lot. I think it's great. But I guess I'm not as attached to as a hardcore Silent Hill fan.
Yeah.
And the Silent Hill fan base is a very mixed bag of different kinds of toxicity, surprisingly, which I was not aware of until I'd sort of done some research. But with, you know, Silent Hill F coming out, it sort of came more into light how, Silent Hill fans are a bit weird. And they love arguing, and you can never please them. Yeah. So, maybe they're like K-pop fans, but for psychological horror. But anyway, I just thought that this movie was just kind of a film that clearly didn't have the budget for what it wanted to do. It was a bore fest.
Yeah.
The plot was just, the plot changes were stupid, especially, well, this is a spoiler, but in the games, when James meets the other characters like Eddie, Angela, and Laura, they're their own characters. Where in the movie, it seems like it was trying to tie in the other Silent Hill aspects of the games, like the cult.
The cultists,
Yeah. And everyone is just Mary except for Eddie. Who just disappears.
just there for one scene.
He's just there and just disappears.
He's there to beat up James and then peace out.
So you just lose some of that richness that those characters have. And for a film called Silent Hill, this movie never shut the fuck up. There was so much of James doing video game talk, like a AAA Ubisoft video game talk, like, I better check this out. Oh, this really hurt my hand.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks dangerous. It's like, come on, man. Like, shut the fuck up. Just be quiet. And just turn the music down for a little bit. You know, it's so clearly just a voiceover where maybe it was a note from the producers or Christophe Gans. It's like, oh, the audience aren't going to be able to pay attention, so you need to make James remind them that what he's doing. And it just didn't have the atmosphere. Even in the first one where it had Radha Mitchell, she wasn't playing a character from the games, but there was not a large segment of it, but when she was running around sort of trying to discover things, I don't have a recollection of her saying like, oh, well, I better get over this. Like, oh man, it's foggy, I can't see anything or anything like that. She just was concerned about looking for her daughter, who wasn't the best actress back then, Jodelle Fernland. I remember me and my friend used to make fun of a scene from the first movie. I'm not sure you remember this, but it's when the daughter has a vision of Silent Hill, like a nightmare, and then like Radha Mitchell wakes her up and she's like, Silent Hill, Silent Hill. It's like, and I remember in the theater, like, I wonder where this is gonna go for me with that performance. But
I mean, budget aside, this had a $23 million budget, by the way, which is not a small amount. Like, I guess got to pay for licensing or whatnot, but it's 20 million more than the next film that we're going to talk about. So I don't know. I don't know if the problems with this film are necessarily budgetary. I think a lot of it is just really bad choices, probably made by Christophe Gans, but maybe not. Like judging from interviews, it seems like he doesn't really get it. But there's also like a lot of things that I feel like probably are studio decisions, like dumbing it down in general. That feels like a studio choice.
Yeah, unfortunately.
There's absolutely no nuance to this film. Like, for something like Silent Hill, where a lot of it is up for interpretation, right? Like, they don't really leave much room for interpretation in this film. It's like they showed that James is Pyramid Head from the get-go. Like, they show what's behind that mask straight away. Yeah, there's a therapist that calls James throughout this film, and it's like they reveal halfway through that he's having like some kind of psychotic episode.
Yeah,
just the reveal that every character is a figment of, or like a fragment of Mary. Yeah, it's a very simple way to kind of distill the ideas of Silent Hill, because it's much more complicated in the games, right?
Well, the game is just quieter and it's more.
And that's another thing. That's like you got to keep people's attention, right? So you got to be constantly explaining the plot. You got to be constantly running around and making noise, right?
Well, you don't have to.
I mean, you still fell asleep, Tavi. They were doing all that and you still fell asleep. So what do you want them to do? You want them to make a quiet film for you to...
It was a good film, you know? It's like I can stay awake for a film that is compelling. And
a film where you have to actually pay attention. Sure,
Yeah. I didn't need to pay attention to this movie. It just fucking explained everything to me. Yeah.
No, good.
I don't know.
So I think that's what is pissing people off mainly, is that it is just a very dumb version of this pretty complex series as well. And Silent Hill 2 is like clearly the most beloved.
It's the best beloved,
as well. So I mean, if you were going to do it to anything, you should have done it to Silent Hill 4, that one that nobody really cares that much about.
No, people like 4. It's after 4, it was where it started to drop off when it wasn't Team Silent anymore. But I think the issue is the scale of the project to what the budget is. You can't have this grand universe, unfortunately. You sort of have to compromise a little bit. But like the pitch is to tell James's story. It's like maybe it should have just been someone else from the Silent Hill universe. But
a lot of it is Mary's story as well, though, because it is kind of James's story, but you get a lot of backstory of Mary and cultists that you just get rid of all that, man. You don't need that. You can just focus more on James and like him discovering or rediscovering what actually happened to Mary, if that's what you want to do. Like, why put Eddie in for one scene? That's weird. I guess because it didn't really fit with the narrative of Mary's fragmented psyche, but just take him out altogether then in that case. I don't really know what's going on with this film.
I think they did the biggest dirty to Laura, the kid, because she's just another ghost child in the movie. But she's quite important in the game. It's because she doesn't see the monsters. It's because like her psyche, she's not guilty of anything. She's innocent. That's why she is constantly running from James all the time.
Right.
Where I don't remember what she's just like, I'm a ghost girl. Ooh, like, damn you, James. And it's like, oh, now Maria. And and then I'm going to get, Maria is the one that gets speared. That worked me up when like Maria got speared by Pyramid Head.
Yeah,
and it's like,
happening. Yeah.
You're in my way. I'm like, that doesn't look very cool. Like, it just looks like he's killed this woman. To me, it's like, is this the protagonist?
It's not very cool. I mean, James is not very
not
cool.
really supposed to be a good
he's
guy.
Not a cool guy.
He's not a good guy, but still, it's sort of like you kind of lost me. Yeah, I don't
He's
know.
not really able to summon Pyramid Head to kill women at his whim.
Fuck it hell, yeah. But I mean, some of the production design is fine.
I like the creature design.
Yeah, some of the creature design is fine.
Pyramid Head looks good.
But,
there's things that spit acid there. That looks pretty good.
Oh, yeah. And there's like Spider Mary as well. I just remember that.
Oh, yeah.
That was and they sort of did the PG version of the Pyramid Head sexually assaulting a doll.
Well, they did that in the remake as well, didn't they?
Yeah, but it's still like implied. This one, it's just a wrestling match, right? And then that's about it. it's just a bit shit, really. Oh yeah, and he basically does a time loop. He basically gets the bad ending of the game, but then he resets the path where he doesn't take Mary to Silent Hill, and then none of the movie happens, and then we just wasted our time. And then I left the theater.
Yeah. They should have ended with the Doge ending. That would have brought it back to me if they ended it with the Doge ending.
I reckon they should have done it just as a nod. Like, yeah, this is the canon ending to the movie.
Yeah.
I honestly think fans might have accepted that a bit more. The movie is shit, but at least they had a little bit of fun. I remember I was telling you when I was watching this movie, I was tired and like nodding off a lot, but I felt especially antsy in this movie. I couldn't sit still. I was like writhing around. And I wasn't even disgusted of the movie either. I was just never comfortable in my seat.
That nagging feeling of your time being wasted.
My time being wasted. I think so. Yeah.
I get it. I know that feeling.
I was just like, why can't I? Like, I just felt that my legs were really hot, even though there was AC on. I was just like, I couldn't rest. I took my shoes off, and I was like,
maybe that was the effect that Christophe Gans was going for. Just that anxiety-inducing uncomfortability. Well, there you go.
He's made the most anxiety-inducing movie
He's a mastermind.
I've seen for a while. Yeah.
Just kidding. He sucks. Yeah. And this movie sucks. So yeah. Don't watch it.
Don't watch it. Don't waste your time.
Maybe watch the next one, though. I'm not sure. I'm still on the fence about this film, Iron Lung.
Yeah.
So this is also based on a video game, 2022 video game by David Szymanski. We've also played this game.
We finished it. Yeah.
We finished it. We didn't release the episode, I'm pretty sure.
No, we did, didn't we?
No, we didn't, Tavi. I looked for it. I couldn't find it. It's there somewhere in the archives. Hasn't been released. Maybe we'll release it in conjunction with this one if we can find it. I don't know who has it.
Oh shit! I thought I had put the audio together and I guess not. That's a shame. That was, I think, because it was a long. Must have been. Yeah, that was a couple.
It's a long one. It's a pretty long game. Oh, I don't know. How long do you reckon?
Well,
it was? 2 hours?
I mean, most streamers finish it in like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I think we took like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, this film stars Markiplier, famous popular YouTuber. I never heard of him, but you told me.
Oh no, he's popular. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember on a set that I was on a couple of years back, a lot of the younger people there made fun of my voice because they thought I sounded like Markiplier, and they kept asking me to do Markiplier impersonations.
I see.
I think it's the deep voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd watched some of his stuff from years ago, but I'm not.
Is he mainly a Let's Player?
He's like the sequel to PewDiePie, I guess. He was was there with that boom, and he played a lot of horror games, but people really liked him. It's because he's got a funny voice. Yeah. The deep voice.
So he self-financed and produced this film.
Yeah, and distributed as well. Yeah.
In conjunction with David Szymanski in some respect.
Yeah.
A pretty minimal film, $3 million budget, and like you don't need a big budget for this film, right? It's a very small,
basically one location
scale idea. Yeah, I mean, for people that don't know, Iron Lung is about a world that has been ravaged by an event known as the Quiet Rapture, which caused most humans and all stars to disappear without warning. In the game, you play a character that is put in this submarine and sent to explore a sea of blood on a distant moon. For stuff that can be useful. And the submarine, I guess, is called Iron Lung, hence the title.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like a joke name for like people in there, because it's obviously based off like, you know, the name of the Iron Lung that was made for like
torture
people who died from polio. It wasn't a torture device. I think you're thinking of Iron Maiden.
I am thinking of Iron Maiden, you're right.
I mean, you could, if you really think about it on its thematic level of being kept alive, but you know, people who lived on iron lungs back then, some of them led a fulfilling life.
Okay. But this guy in this film doesn't really live a fulfilling life.
Not really, no.
So Markiplier plays a character named Simon, who is essentially the game character. He goes into the Iron Lung and he goes into the blood sea and starts discovering all this weird shit. So it's like it's a cosmic horror film. Right?
Yeah.
On a very small scale.
Yeah, I would say that, yeah. From the game that we played, and even from the movie as well, I really like this universe that has been created. It's a very cool concept. And the way that the iron lung works is very eerie because he's basically sealed into this iron lung, this vessel that is not even really built to withstand such depths that is going under this, sea of blood. And he's sealed off in there, so he can't even open the hatch. And he is basically flying blind, but the only way that he can see is shooting this photo gun thing that takes photos. This radiation beam, which I think is not explained in the game. So this was a new thing that was put in the movie. But yeah, he can only see these sort of abstract images of what the radiation camera takes.
It's like an X-ray.
Yeah, and then at times he takes some very creepy photos of just things just staring at him. And at points it's quite creepy in the game.
I mean, that's what the game is, right? The game is going to a destination, taking a creepy photo, and then trying to find the next destination to take a creepy photo. So in that way, the movie captures the essence of the game quite well. And it does sort of expand on the universe. There's a plot point where he actually does go to the surface, which never happens in the game. But they basically just send him back down to try to get a sample of a skeleton that he comes across or something that's alive. But what I like about this movie is it is a clear passion project. I mean, of course, they wanted to make some money from this, but they never really intended to be like a big hit. But it was made by Markiplier because he wanted to, and the fans helped him fund it because they wanted to see it. And I think this movie it's done quite well. It's made its money back. It's made like 300%. So it's only made, I think, it made like 25 million on the chart, which is, pittance for like a Disney movie, but for an indie film with no Hollywood distributor or anything like that, I was very surprised to see it as widespread as it was in Melbourne. Because I thought it was only going to be showing at sort of more specialized theaters, but they played it at the big theaters. It's playing way more than Silent Hill.
than fucking Silent Hill. Yeah, that's very surprising. This movie had more buzz than Silent Hill. But even then, this movie didn't have a lot of marketing either. It is pure just fan interaction and people who like Markiplier. And I think that's cool. And I think there is a good and bad precedence of just anyone that can make a film, because that's indie filmmaking. But it is a YouTuber who Markiplier happens to be one of the good ones who's trying to make something creative, and he can make a film. I'm sure there's definitely been other YouTubers who have made very rubbish movies. And
we didn't watch Chris Stuckman's movie. Well, I haven't watched it yet.
I've heard mixed reviews about that one.
This film is getting mixed reviews as well, Tavi. Perhaps even between the two of us, I think it's a bit of a mixed review, because you quite like this film. I don't know if I can speak as positively about it. I understand that there are good points. I think for you can recognize that there are flaws to this film, but ultimately you enjoyed it. For me, I think it's the other way around. I think I can recognize that there are good aspects to this film, but ultimately did not enjoy it.
It's definitely a divisive film. It is definitely too long at a 2-hour mark. There were points where it was starting to drag, and I think
it's somehow longer than our Let's Play of the game time, which is too long.
And I think he needed a director. I think he needed to have someone help him direct some of the way things were shot or some of his acting, which is surprisingly impressive for a YouTuber who I think he's actually done some YouTube series before, but they're kind of like a bit more on the silly side.
They're YouTube series.
I appreciate the visual effects in this movie as well. I like
especially towards the end.
Practical. And it's to do that on such a shoestring budget as well, it's very impressive to see. And as someone who is making films at the moment and who is pretty much financing my own movies, I completely understand the plight of trying to get something made at all, because it is hard, especially if you want to make a horror like this. If he had gone through the usual routes and pathways, they'd be like, oh yeah, how can we make this PG-13, but he didn't. He stuck to making it more on sort of like the body horror aspect of things, because the original game is actually not that violent. There's no scenes of explicit gore or anything like that. This is something that, he wanted to do, and I'm glad that they kind of stuck to it. It could have gone the Five Nights at Freddy route, just this corporate, just this mess of a just boring.
Well, I think
I've seen the first movie, and I didn't even fall asleep during the first movie, and I have no memory of it. Just Josh Hutcherson looking worried. That's all I remember.
Yeah, especially when your key demographic is YouTube kids, I guess. It is quite easy to go down the route of Five Nights at Freddy's and try to capitalize on that audience. But no, he didn't compromise, which is really good. I think the violence of the game, it feels like a violent game, even though there's no explicit violence. I think a lot of the violence is probably implied because the game is first person, right? So you don't really see what's happening to you, but you just can feel that you're getting fucked up as the game goes on, right? And I think that's conveyed quite well in this movie and in Markiplier's performance. And all the shit that happens to him, especially towards the end. I think my main issue is that while the idea and the core concepts of the film are really solid, because they're based on a game that has a really solid core concept, I don't think there's enough of a plot to merit a 2.5 hour film. I think it really could have benefited from an edit.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's fine. I know that plot is not everything. You don't really need, I watched Train Dreams late last year, and that doesn't really have a plot. But because it's such a stunning movie and everything else about it is so elevated, you don't really think about the fact that it doesn't really have a plot. But in this film, while there are some good aspects, I don't think it was enough to compensate for the lack of plot. And it ended up, to me, feeling a bit repetitive. And I kind of got bored, pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, I can see that because there's only so much you can shoot in a chamber drama like this before you really realize you need
something to happen.
You need something to happen, yeah. And I think that's where he needed a director, to sort of really be able to sort of craft that. I mean, it could have gone either way. Maybe Christophe Gans would have come on and said, I really understand Iron Lung. And then it just ends up being one of the worst movies ever made. It's, I think, honestly, on an indie level, it's hard because you sort of have to try to review a movie on its merit, as a film.
Yeah.
But I do take a lot into how it was made, who made it, and its purpose. And I think on that level of it being sort of a win for indie filmmakers, and the fact that a lot of the Hollywood newspapers were sort of not acknowledging this movie was in the top 5 at a point in the box office.
Well, it's going up against Melania, Tavi. How are you going to beat that?
But I think it is just cool to see that there are these films for people who are passionate enough to want to make them. And be able to get a release for them. I think that sets a good precedent for the future.
Definitely.
And I mean, as I said, he's the first YouTuber to make a movie. I mean, we talked about Reka Reka.
Yep.
And they've made a couple of fantastic horror films.
Kogo Naga.
Oh, Kogo Naga is a YouTuber. I didn't know that.
It started off with video essays on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it seems like that. I think I think I saw the one that he did for Memories of Murder, and it was actually quite good. Yeah, I think it's cool. So I would like to see more of it, I'd rather watch a film like this that has a lot of flaws but a lot of heart, rather than something like Predator Badlands, where it is just so smooth and tailored to get the most audience demographic. And it's still well made, but it still feels it doesn't feel like there's a vision there. It just feels like a Disney-fied checklist, and I think that film just follows a formula to the T, where this one, it took risks. I think it succeeded where it needed to. Yeah, it's got a lot wrong with it, but I think that doesn't bother me too much to the point where I would not like the movie. I think it's quite atmospheric. There's some cool things in this movie. And Markiplier doesn't do a bad job at acting, which is
it's pretty good.
Because if it was bad,
because the whole movie is him. So if it was bad, then it would not have been great. But no, he does a good job. Yeah, I think overall, I can see you respecting it as an indie filmmaker yourself. For me, I don't know. I didn't really like it that much. I don't even think the problems with it are budgetary. Again, much like Return to Silent Hill, I think it was just kind of stuff could have been left on the cutting room floor. I think it could have been a bit more lean as a film. I think that would have helped a lot in terms of my enjoyment of the film. But again, I acknowledge that there are very good aspects of it. Like you said, the atmosphere is pretty good, and the visual effects and all that, and the performances are quite solid.
Yeah.
So yeah, good job, I reckon. Keep it up.
Yeah, bring back true indie filmmaking. It was quite jarring for the film to open up with no companies being shown at the start of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whenever we watch like a Chinese film, there's just 10 minutes of companies and sponsors.
Company logos.
But like, this movie, it just started. It was just a black screen, and then Troy Baker doing a narration. Like, what? Who distributed it? Where's the roaring of the lion or the 20th? It's just like just straight up. Like, nope. It's just no one wanted to fund this movie, so I made it myself. And that's cool. Because that means Hollywood can actually, take risks. Like,
it's a wake-up call. A wake-up call to Hollywood. And that's why they're trying to kill it, Tavi. That's what all the fans are saying. Hollywood's trying to kill this movie because it's too successful.
Yeah, it's too successful.
I don't know about that. But it's fine. It's all right. I'm glad that it's doing well, because I think it is a win for indie filmmaking in general, and kind of a step in the right direction. Like you were saying, that a flawed movie with a vision is better than an overly smooth movie, which I totally agree with. I watched a video that kind of was comparing original Star Wars to like the remastered versions of Star Wars. Like in the original cut of Star Wars, like you can see the fingerprints on Darth Vader's helmet. You can see the scuff marks and the matte lines on the costume. Whereas in the re-releases, that all has been smoothed out. And like, janky Star Wars is better. Like, it's just better.
Yeah. There's something about it, It's just it's movie making, It's all the stuff that you see on those DVD Blu-rays and stuff. And it's like, we were recently on Nick's show for Freddy vs. Jason. I'm not sure that would be out. It's probably not out yet, but we talked about a lot of like the flaws, and not really the flaws, just I think it just reminds me of a lot of the bonuses I saw for that. It just looked like it was just fun, just doing a lot of like practical shit, being on set and
getting in the trenches and making a film. Bad movies we love. Check it out. Nick's podcast.
Yeah. I mean, they built a stage for the Iron Lung, right? And it was like moving around and stuff. Yeah. Sort of like what Christopher Nolan did for the plane in Dark Knight Rises. But with a much smaller budget. Yeah. So that was cool. Yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Nice one. If you have never played the game, would you recommend this film?
Oh, it's tough. I wonder if the movie exposited enough. I think it did.
It does. I think you get the backstory, because I didn't really know anything about the Quiet Rapture, even though I've played the game. I must not have been paying much attention.
They explain it, but it's just like you just forget about it.
I think you're given enough plot to kind of get the gist of it.
I would play the game first. I would recommend playing the game first.
The movie really does feel like the game.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's not always a good thing.
Yeah.
Shall we move along, Tavi?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's keep the train rolling. More horror. That seems to be a running theme.
Yeah, more passion projects. Maybe. I don't know actually about this.
Was this one a passion project? I don't know a lot about it.
I feel like every Sam Raimi movie is a passion project of his. That's kind of the vibe I get from Sam Raimi. Except for maybe Multiverse of Madness. But anyway, this film, Send Help, has Rachel McAdams, just like that Multiverse of Madness movie that he did as well. Directed by Sam Raimi, also starring Dylan O'Brien. It's basically about an underappreciated office worker who gets marooned on an island with her douchebag of a boss. And they're both trying to survive. It's kind of like a push and pull in terms of a power struggle while they're surviving on this island. Because she watches a lot of Survivor, so she's got the survival skills.
She's a millennial. She's one of those weird millennials that, there's a bit cringe, as people would like to say. Yeah.
Yes.
So she does that role pretty well.
Whereas Dylan O'Brien is kind of a trust fund kid. He inherited the company from his dad, and he's used to being the big dog, but when they crash on this island, he realizes that none of that means anything.
And Chris Pang, who plays corporate Asian guy who dies pretty early in the movie.
The role he was born to play, Tavi.
Douchebag
Spendable
Asian
corporate
guy.
Asian douchebag. Yep. We love you, Chris Pang.
Probably plays that role a little bit too well.
Allegedly. I don't know him personally.
But yeah, I hadn't heard much about this movie. I was only really interested in seeing it because I heard that Raimi was doing it, and it was sort of a return to hear like a violent thriller because he hasn't done one in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue that Multiverse of Madness was one. So there's pretty surprisingly grisly deaths in that film.
I guess so.
In a Marvel sort of way. I mean, Miss Captain America gets sawed in half by her own shield, even though you don't see it.
Black Bolt's head gets caved in. That's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And shut down the rumors of John Krasinski
Oh, yeah.
playing Mr. Fantastic,
Mr.
and then him
Fantastic.
just dying in a very painful manner, which I found really funny.
Spoilers for Multiverse of Madness.
A
3-year-old
movie that
film
is
at this point.
3 years old. But anyway, I was excited because Raimi was back doing horror-based stuff. And I had rewatched the Evil Dead series recently.
Oh, yeah?
I wanted to see more ghoulishness, should I say. And there's some certain ghoulish elements in this movie, but it's not particularly, there's not really a supernatural horror. It is more the tension between Rachel McAdams and the guy. Yeah, I forgot his name.
Dylan O'Brien of Maze Runner fame.
Oh, yeah, Maze Runner, yeah. I really enjoyed this movie. I think Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien do a fantastic job.
They're both so unhinged in this film.
Yeah.
It's good.
There's a number of really fun visual effects. Maybe a little bit too much CGI, but that's just Hollywood. But I'm not sure that's a good enough excuse, but that's all right. I quite like I like the ghoulishness. Like there's some wretched faces of like corpses that you see in this movie that are quite shocking. And to anyone who is watching this movie and not knowing Raimi's style and just think, oh yeah, it's a survival thriller, and then just seeing some of these images, I can imagine can be quite funny. I do like the moral quandary questions that it sort of brings up, like who is the real victim in this scenario. I actually had a very fun conversation with a filmmaker friend of mine about this movie, and they were like, looked quite deeply into this movie, and we had a pretty lengthy discussion about who was the actual abuser and who the victim was, and I was surprised, like, oh yeah, this movie maybe presents a much deeper conversation than I ever thought I would get out of it.
Well, yeah,
because I knew there was themes, but it's like, oh yeah, like it's played pretty lightly, I think.
It is. I mean, you wanted to talk about this film because it does kind of tie in a thematic way to the next film that we're going to talk about.
Film, yeah.
You know, like the struggles of the middle class, I guess, in corporate society, right? And the underappreciated.
Yeah.
I mean, this film it's ultimately about control, right? Like at the start of the film, Rachel McAdams' character Linda, she's under the control of Dylan O'Brien's character. He's her boss. But then when they crash on the island, that power dynamic shifts, and all of a sudden Linda's in control. So and it kind of does go back and forth throughout the movie, and that's kind of the fun of it as well. Yeah, but it is overall played in quite a light way. It's got a pretty light tone.
I really like this film, but my biggest issues for the movie were, this one is not a huge issue, but I think I'll talk about it. But I'd seen a lot of movies where the morality line was grayer, where I think this one, it's a bit more clear cut. I think it's sort of like, but what really irked me about this movie was the cinematography and some of the editing. It was very standard. Some of the shots in this movie, or maybe a lot of the shots in this movie, were mostly plate shots where it's just Rachel McAdams or Dylan O'Brien in a green screen, and they've got their plate, which is just whatever scene they need, and then it's just background, and then just put on like massive shallow depth of field and blur it, and they used it so much in this movie. Right. And there was never any, I wouldn't say never any, there was some, but there was just not much use of clever framing to explain like emotion or to suggest anything.
Sure.
It was just very standardly cut.
Saying there wasn't enough filmmaking in it for you.
Yeah, maybe.
There's a bit of acting in it, but not that much filmmaking going on.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Because obviously Rachel McAdams is a very beautiful person, and she's sort of supposed to be she's supposed to be like the odd cringe millennial that you find in the cubicle making
Well,
TikToks about
she's
eating
the
food.
nerd at the start, right?
Yeah.
She's like a Selena Kyle Catwoman kind of vibe, or Jim Carrey's the Riddler.
Yeah, but then she just, I don't know, takes off the sweater and takes off her glasses and she's just hot.
Well, that's the power dynamic, Darby. It's shifting.
But I understand, like, it's Hollywood and there's contracts and it's like, oh, you can't really make this actor look that ugly. But both of these actors look way too clean. And I guess maybe you can sort of explain it through a plot point that happens towards the end, but it's sort of like they're not really that dirty, but it's like, yeah. And I think it's because it was the overuse of those shots, the medium close-up, where like, yeah, the makeup artist would come on and say, okay, I got to make sure you look good on camera, right? And that's fine. But it sort of accentuated that flaw for me where it took me out of it, I think, a little bit.
It's funny that you mentioned the lack of kind of artistry, I guess, in the film, because from the interviews that I've seen of Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien, it seems like Raimi was in like a massive rush to make this film. Like, he kept telling them to do their scenes faster and act faster. He was quoted as saying, "This is not a Canadian film, it's an American film. We act fast in American films." So like, I don't know what he was doing, but he seemed to be in a bit of a rush.
Yeah, maybe that was it then. They just didn't have the budget and just... I mean, this is a $60 million film. This is expensive. They should allocate the time, but yeah, I mean, it's just a shame because there's a lot of really good stuff in this movie, I think, but it's just there's a little bit of a lack of care for that, unfortunately, and it kind of this might have been almost like one of the best movies I'd seen this year, but it just it kind of. There's the lack of cinematography, and there's a slight lull in the movie where I think I was getting a little bit bored because it's pretty long for this kind of film. But I just wish it was shot better. I mean, it's funny how you said that he told them to act faster, because I think the acting in this movie it's good. It's fine. Like, I don't see any bad performances in this movie. And my favorite scene in this movie is towards the end. There's a scuffle. And it gets fairly violent. There's a little bit of eye gouging involved, which I thought was like quite funny to watch. Yeah,
my favorite scene is when she paralyzes him, and then she starts doing stuff to him, and he's like, I love it. It's good.
Yeah, it's intense. Yeah.
It's good. I think this is it's a bit of fun, but not that much more than that, to be honest. You're right. It doesn't hit that hard for the story that it's kind of telling. And maybe that's the intent, for it to just tell this kind of story in a fun way. And if that is the intent, it did achieve that, I think.
Yeah. I'm not sure if this film is going to have like much of a legacy behind it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And that seems to be the issue.
Feels like something that could have gone straight to Netflix.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like...
Which is a terrible thing to say about a film.
Yeah, I was having a discussion with a mate, and we just say that a lot of the issue with modern movies, and this is like with a younger filmmaker, it's just there seems to be a lack of the idea of legacy. It is very much just trying to make that quick buck, and then it's contentified.
It's a shift towards content. That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Like I complain about the cinematography, and I understand why they're doing it. It's because there's a note. It's like, how can we turn this into TikToks, and is there a thing that people can draw back to? And it's just a bit shitty. Like, it's really bad. I hate it, to be honest. That note, the idea of not actually watching stuff. I mean, you've really got reality shows for that, right? It's just, but when you're watching a movie, like, just sit down. Watch a movie. Learn how to appreciate like craft, so like people aren't just receiving their awards off air.
Just pay attention a little bit. Put your phone down. Pay attention for a bit. It's 2 hours. It's not that long.
Yeah.
The cinema kind of negates that a little bit. Which
I have a feeling it doesn't really mitigate that much in the States, though. All I hear is horror stories about the cinema in the States. It's just people yelling on their phones all the time. And people trying to get people off their phones, but they just met with violent hostility at that point. And the workers aren't going to do shit about that. They're not getting paid,
they're filming it on their phones, Harvey. They're putting this up on TikTok later.
Yeah. It's just a little bit of a shame. It doesn't really have just the same I guess panache as like, Evil Dead or Evil Dead
The next
2.
film that we're going to talk about, certainly. Next film is all panache, Tavi.
Yes, it is.
It's true cinema. Wow, we got to it, didn't we?
Yeah.
No other choice. The first Asian film of the year.
Yeah, I know, right? Finally get to talk about this movie because Australia got it fucking late. This movie was out ages ago.
I saw it ages ago, Tavi.
Yeah. And you and
ages since I've seen
Risky
this.
was sort of like parading it around. It's like, yeah, we've seen it, yeah. It was just like like on the schoolyard. It's like the cool kids like, oh, yeah, we've already seen
Hey,
it.
man, we didn't do that. We just said, just watch it, Tavi. You need to watch it.
Nah. He's like, you know, watch it. Like, we've already seen it. We've already seen it, Tavi. And then, like, to be honest, I actually had seen this movie a while ago as well, but it was through not the most legal of routes, as most people could probably. Yeah.
Yes.
But I did watch it in the cinema properly when it came out. And thank God I did, because this is, Park Chan-wook, man. You know, watch his movies in the cinema, you know.
Yeah, you watched a lot of his films in cinema leading up to this film.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, one of the cinemas, well, not really near me, but, well, in Melbourne, they were doing a Park Chan-wook marathon. And they basically showed 10 of his movies, barring 2 that he has dismissed as crap movies. So it started from JSA. They showed JSA, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Old Boy, Lady Vengeance, I'm a Cyborg, but That's Okay. And then it was, I think Stoker was after that one. No, Thirst, and then Stoker.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was The Handmaiden, and then Decision to Leave. I'd seen The Handmaiden earlier last year in a cinema, but I watched 6 of them. So I watched the first 6, and they were showing every day. Yeah, and it's just really cool to see the evolution of easily the best director of this generation, like one of the best directors of this generation. And I think I think that's why when I was sort of talking about my disappointment to Sam Raimi for Send Help, and even 28 years later, The Bone Temple, because I think I watched that movie in between. And it was just sort of like, there's just a lack of just careful planning of shots. But it's hard because you're watching someone who is like the best at their craft. And it's in this movie as well. Every scene is just so carefully orchestrated and choreographed. Even if there's not that much happening, it's just beautiful filmmaking, you know?
For those that haven't seen this film or haven't really heard about it, it is no other choice. It stars Lee Byung-hun playing the character Mansu. The basic plot is Mansu is an award-winning veteran employee of a paper-making company called Solar Paper. At the start of the film, he's well paid, he's living a life, he's got 2 beautiful kids, a beautiful wife, beautiful home, 2 dogs. He's got the Korean dream. But then an American company buys out Solar Paper, fires a lot of their employees, including him, and he is left jobless in an industry that is slowly dying, the paper industry. So he vows to resume his paper-making job, and he ends up resorting to killing off a bunch of ex-paper employees that have better credentials than him, so that he can get a job eventually. That's the basic premise of this film. Very fun, very Park Chan-wook premise.
It is, yeah.
Based on a novel, which I didn't realize. Based on The Axe by Donald Westlake.
Yeah.
Which was previously adapted in a French language feature, also called The Axe by Costa Gavras.
Yeah. I didn't know that just recently as well. This movie is very Korean in its depiction of power struggles, and surprisingly there's not too many corrupt people in this movie. It is just CEOs just banishing people, and it's definitely a commentary on AI that's sort of more towards the end of the film. But I love this movie. Lee Byung-hun is fantastic in this film, and this might be the most restraint of Park Chan-wook for this style of film. And maybe the most comical, in a sense of
it's funny.
Really
it's such
cartoony.
A funny film.
Yeah. It's really funny.
I don't think I've laughed this much in a Park Chan-wook film before. It's a really funny film, and a lot of that has to do with Lee Byung-hun. But yeah, just the brilliant writing. That part where he gets bitten by a snake and falls down the hill. I cracked up so much, Tommy. I have a thing about like off-screen violence or off-screen pain. I just find it really funny. So, and you just hear like off-screen this and he just like rolls into frame. It's so good. Like you said, everything about this film is intentional. It's Park Chan-wook in his element, right? In terms of restraint, I don't know. I think Decision to Leave as well is pretty restrained of an effort.
Decision to Leave's more restrained, but that's still more of like a love story. Whereas this one is, I think when I first watched it, I wasn't sure if I liked it immediately, because when I first watched it, I was at a mate's place and we watched it quite late after a really long session of cooking food, and then we were just tired, so we were just eating and watching a movie. I mean, it was a fun movie to watch, but not the best, I guess, viewing experience for this kind of film. But I watched it the second time. I watched it with Angie, who worked with, if anyone remembers from that movie we did a couple of years ago. Yeah, we watched that at Palace Baldwin, and I watched it in the theater. I'm like, I get it, like 100% how fucking funny this movie is. There's just so many funny transitions. Like there's a scene where one of the guys is just like laughing all the time, and there's just this really funny just cut to this guy haughtily laughing, and one of the victims soon to be, and it's just a really funny edit. But there's so much like little detail in this movie, because Park Chan-wook is the master at transitions. Like
he's got really good transitions.
This is going to be like fucking super, really, like you have to watch it to notice. But there's a scene where he's talking to one of the guys on the phone, and this guy's sitting on a staircase. And then for some reason, because I watched this movie again recently, and I think it was the third viewing, I was just looking at the leaves on the stairs. And then when the scene finishes, there's like this wind that blows all the leaves like off the stairs. And then it cuts to another scene where Lee Byung-hun is driving off, and then the leaves are blowing off like the driveway. And it's just like, man, that's just so much. That is a ridiculous amount of planning. Like you cannot do that by accident. Like it's just so hard to do. And I just
he's got really good transitions. This guy. If you search up Park Chan-wook transitions, I'm sure you'll get a montage of just really excellent and clever transitions.
It's because you don't notice them. But and I think this is prominent in the TV series he did, The Sympathizer, where he directed the first 3 episodes only, and then the other ones were directed by other people. And those episodes are fine, but you can just tell that there is not as much thought. It's just missing. You know, something's missing after you've borne witness to it, you know? And all of Park Chan-wook's movies are almost all comedies, except maybe for Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. But that still has its own level of humor in it. But one of the really funniest scenes in this film is Mansu's going to kill one of the guys. And this guy's sort of just gone through some big turmoil. It's a bit hard to explain, but he's sort of like in this chair listening to records in his house, and the music's just really loud. And the song that is playing just sounds really funny. I'm not sure why, but it's like it's a proper song, and the characters are having to yell at each other, and it's like subtitled, so we can understand what they're saying. The music choice, it was just really funny.
It's very absurd. There's a lot of absurd things that happen in this film. With the story is like fairly grounded. I mean, in comparison to a Park Chan-wook film. But yeah, there's like a scene of Lee Byung-hun dressed as like a rear admiral, and he's dancing towards his wife. It's so funny. It looks really and funny. So absurd. He does so much with this script. And like, I mean, the story itself is quite compelling as well. And the characters are all very well portrayed. Like, you've got Lee Byung-hun playing Mansu, of course, but also his wife, played by Son Ye-jin. There's like a plot point where she has to get a job as a dental hygienist, and she's working with like this hot dentist, so that kind of leads Lee Byung-hun to kind of suspect her. So there is this kind of tension between between the two. But at the same time, you kind of feel a lot of her support of him going through this hard time. It feels like a real marriage almost. It's not like extremely combative. Like there is kind of like compromise, and there is like a little bit of push and pull, and there is passion as well in the relationship. So it's very complex. Like it's not very one-dimensional. Like you were talking about, like in Sen Help, how it doesn't feel very gray. It doesn't feel very nuanced, I guess.
Yeah.
Whereas this film, by comparison, it's all nuance. Like there's no black and white in this film. Like even the characters that are quote unquote bad guys, like they're not really bad guys. They're just part of the system, right?
Yeah.
The guy that he's trying, the guy that he initially tries to murder with a pot plant, he's kind of a douchebag. But he's not a bad guy either. Like he's got a pretty rough life as well. There's a scene where they kind of get to know each other and do some bonding over some alcohol. Yeah. And like you kind of feel for the guy. You kind of feel for all of Mansu's victims in this movie, which is really effective.
And they kind of sort of meet fairly grisly endings. Like I mean, I guess it's like a spoilers.
There's some grisly imagery in this film.
Yeah, it's funny because I think this is one of Park Chan-wook's lighter, more accessible films. There's nothing as hard-hitting as, anything from the Vengeance trilogies. No. The tone of this movie is actually very light for what it's saying about society.
Definitely. Yeah.
I've seen a number of this kind of films that come from Korea where it's usually about sort of people above abusing their workers, and it's usually about the overworked stuff. Yeah.
The message is the system is fucked, basically.
Yeah. There's one film that, I forgot the name of it. It's got Bae Doona in it. And it's a film about a worker who's just out of college and she goes to a company, but she gets bullied and she eventually takes her own life. And then it's about the investigation.
Next Sohee.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I think that's a really great movie. But man, is that a difficult film to watch. It's not, I'm not rewatching that movie anytime soon. It is just so bleak. Whereas this movie, if you are really looking beneath the surface of this movie and its themes, it is very bleak, but it's also misleading in a good sense where it's maybe tricking you a little bit. I kind of thought of the analogy of the song like Pumped Up Kicks by Foster the People, if you remember that. Where it's just that song's about school shootings, but it's played over a very light beat. It's quite entertaining. I think this movie, surprisingly for Park Chan-wook, never really goes to wallow in immense grief. And I don't think there's any moment in this movie that is really hard to watch, which is also surprising considering, this is the director of Old Boy and Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. Yeah. I think this might be Park Chan-wook at his most, I'm like 65 now. I'm just going to be quite playful.
It's having a bit of fun,
Yeah, a lot. It is so funny because he said Looney Tunes was like a massive influence in this film. And I can really see it just with a lot of the slapstick, and even when Lee Byung-hun is going to go murder the first guy and he's wearing like those overalls. And it's just like, that's Elmer Fudd, just the way that the camera is angled and he's walking in this weird, like with this weird skip. And it's just like, that's just Elmer Fudd. And it's really funny. There's just so much filmmaking going on in this movie. Yeah. And that's what I really love about films. That is like the admiration. This is like cinematic craft at its finest, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and from a storytelling perspective, like Mansu is the main character. What he's doing is objectively wrong, but you're rooting for him the whole way through. It's just one of those films, right? Like he's such a likable guy, and I guess it's Lee Byung-hun as well. We love this guy. Yeah. So it is hard to see him as the villain of this piece. But like because you're getting his perspective, like his motivations to keep providing the life that his family is used to, and going to extreme measures in order to achieve that. I guess is very relatable as well. Yeah. So you're never kind of like hoping that he gets caught throughout the film. Yeah. And the tension of the film kind of plays with that as well, because there are moments where like you think he's going to get caught throughout the film.
The second victim that he kills in this movie, he's like the most sympathetic because he's just working at the shoe shop. He's got a family. Yeah, he's doing hard, and then
he's played by like Cha Sung-won. That's good.
and then like he gets shot by Lee Byung-hun, but he's sort of it's because you feel bad because like he's had to kill this guy who is at this point the least flawed out of the victims. You know, he has, you don't really see much of his backstory, but his body disposal is the most absurd, and it was really quite funny. So there's this motif of like bonsai trees in this film where Lee Byung-hun is really into like looking after his greenhouse, and in his greenhouse there's like these bonsai trees.
Yeah,
and
it's his happy place.
So what he does is we set up Lee Byung-hun. He's got all this like tarp, and he's about to chainsaw the guy, but he can't stomach it because it's fucking gross, you know? So what he does is he really neatly ties up this guy into like the smallest ball possible.
He folds him up instead.
And the thing is, it's really funny to see. I know this is probably just us, but it's really funny to see the fate of this guy who is arguably
a very nice man.
Sympathetic. He's a very nice man, but he's now folded into a bonsai, but bonsai hooks and whatnot, and he's just buried in Lee Byung-hun's backyard.
Good stuff. Man, the casting is good in this film, though. Like Cha Sung-won as playing that nice guy. I mean, that's a little bit out of type, but I'm there for it. Park Hee-sun plays the douchebag guy that is going to kill the pop man.
He's been on this podcast a couple of times.
So good. So just that shit-eating grin.
The shit-eating grin and the laugh. Those
just a really greasy man. Yeah.
Oh, he's great, yeah.
We got Lee Sung-min as the guy that's being cucked. That's a bit of fun. And his wife, played by Yeom Hee-ran.
Yeah, she was in the IU show.
Yes, Tangerines.
Yeah.
Yes.
IU's mum.
And Mask Girl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Both of which we've talked about in this show.
Yeah.
All of these familiar faces. There's fucking the guy who is in Tastefully Yours as like the third person in that love triangle, Yoo Yeon-suk.
Oh, is that him?
Yeah, he plays the dentist, the guy that is like that Lee Byung-hun thinks his wife is cheating on him with. But yeah, all these faces we've seen before, just chewing up the scenery in this movie.
Oh, it's great. I love the acting in this film. It's weird because, as you said, this movie is grounded, but the acting is very melodramatic. It's very theatrical, but it just makes it so much fun to watch. And I even have to give acting props to the kid actors as well. Like I think he has a daughter in this film, and I think the idea of her is she's sort of that autism savant kind of person. She's really good at cello, you know, autism as a superpower.
Yeah, sometimes it's a superpower.
The best plot device in all of cinematic history. You know, that's why we get films like what's that movie? What's that show with Freddie Highmore?
The Screaming Surgeon.
Yeah, I am a Surgeon, which was based off a Korean show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Love it. But she's not in the movie that much, but she's sympathetic enough that it's like,
it's kind of the little things, like when they give away their dogs, and she has a really hard time dealing with that separation.
Yeah. I like the way that the mum and dad, they talk to her, you know, they don't really seem to mince words around her, and she's sort of like the device of a lot of sort of clever line delivery as well. It's pretty good for like child actors, you know. Yeah.
And the son as well does a good job. Just playing a punk ass kid.
Stealing phones and whatnot. Yeah. Oh, the guy who is like trying to buy their house, he's pretty fun as well. I don't know where he's from, but like it's just so Koreans do this so well. Like these just asshole guys. Because like this was after his wife tells him that they're probably gonna need to sell the house now because they've run out of severance pay. And then there's an immediate house inspection, and Mansu sort of just talked about how he worked so hard to get the house back, and he rebuilt the greenhouse like by his own bare hands. This guy just comes and is like, oh yeah, you know, if we tear down that greenhouse, I could turn it into a really nice golf pitch and just practice my swings. And then like the way the edit was just like Lee Byung-hun's like, this guy's a fucking pig, and he just leaves. It's just really funny. Yeah.
It's a very funny film.
Yeah.
For you, having watched pretty much all of Park Chan-wook's films fairly recently, where would you put this in terms of like the Park Chan-wook lineup?
That's hard. I don't think it's better than anything in the Vengeance trilogy. I think I like it more than Decision to Leave. It's not better than The Handmaiden, because The Handmaiden is probably my second favorite Park Chan-wook movie.
Better than I'm a Cyborg? Better than Thirst?
I think I like Thirst a little bit better. Yeah, I'm not sure if I would put I'm a Cyborg ahead or behind it, because I'm a Cyborg, when I watched that in the cinema, that was a really good experience, actually. It was one of the better films that was received with the cinema audience. Surprisingly, Old Boy didn't have the reception that I thought it was going to with the audience. There wasn't as much laughter. And because it's a cinema full of people that have already seen Old Boy, it's like the end doesn't really, the twist is just like, yeah, everyone already knows what happens. So like the fun of Old Boy is watching it with people that don't know what the twist is going to be. But also during Old Boy, this guy sat next to me and it really stank, which was so it kind of soiled it a little bit. But it's interesting because if I talk about it now, like No Other Choice surprisingly goes quite far down the line in terms of Park Chan-wook films for me. But I think why I like those other films a little bit more is the sort of more escapism factor, and also maybe the angry boy factor as well. I really like hard-hitting cinema. It's just something that you can only really do when you're a bit younger, I guess. And he probably would have been maybe late or early 40s, but it's just the grit. To see humor in such grit in movies is quite an accomplishment, because when I saw Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, there was surprisingly a few chuckles at certain points in the movie, and it's such a bleak movie, but there is humor in it. Whereas I think No Other Choices is fantastic. It's really funny, but I think it's sort of comparing it with other Park Chan-wook movies. It's maybe a bit too light for me, I think. Yeah.
I don't know. I like how light it is. I rate this pretty highly. I think the juxtaposition of the bleakness of its message versus the lightness of his tone, I think that really works for me. Yeah, it's quite a timely message as well. I guess, this kind of message is fairly timeless, but like in terms of the perspective that he is coming from as a filmmaker, telling this kind of story.
It does really, it's very much of the time,
It feels quite personal as well. Like it feels like this is how he feels about his own industry as well. You know, the inevitability of change and how much it sucks. For me, I think that kind of elevates it a bit. And it's really funny. I think my cinema experience for this was really good.
Because you didn't watch it in Sydney. You saw it in Singapore.
It's good.
A better audience, an audience that respects their film.
It was so cool in that cinema as well. It was so well air conditioned.
Yeah, it would be.
The sound was great.
Good
it was really good.
Good,
like I don't think I've seen any Park Chan. No, I've seen Decision to Leave in theaters. But aside from that, I don't think I have seen any of the others in theaters. So maybe that's the deciding factor. Yeah,
if you get a chance. That was awesome. That week just going to watch every... I didn't watch them all. I've seen all Park Chan-wook movies in cinemas, except Stoker now, actually, which I watched at home. And I thought it was fine, but it's lacking humor. But, obviously, No Other Choice has this in spades. It's interesting. I read that this movie was very, very well received in the West. But not so much in Korea. Apparently, Korean people don't like this movie.
Okay.
Do you hear about this?
No, not really.
Yeah, apparently, I think the general consensus is that the commentary of the film, it's too absurd. And the movie, it's like too silly for what it's saying. And then part of me is saying like, I think maybe Koreans are probably a bit too brainwashed by their companies now. It's like, you guys like his other stuff, right? Like this absurdness is in all of his movies. It's just normal,
But I feel like this is kind of a bit more grounded than in the other films, maybe. Like maybe it's too real, Tavi.
I don't know, but that wasn't the thing. They'd say it's not realistic,
A lot of Korean media is about escapism.
Yeah, maybe. And I have a feeling that's probably the thing. Like, it's sort of maybe too real, but I think what they're saying is not what they mean. Like, they don't really know what to critique when they don't like it. It's just, it's too absurd. But it's probably because the absurdity is such a contrast to the very real message behind the movie or the themes that it's pretty striking, and a lot of people don't want to admit it.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it confronting. You know, like because we're doing the same thing. Like the world's going to shit, and we're all laughing about it. So
yeah, you can't really do much about it, huh?
Yeah.
And I think this is a movie that cinema people would like. It's very much a cinema movie. So I have a feeling if this movie was more widespread amongst the general audience, I feel like it would have a similar reception. People just wouldn't be able to handle the weirdness of it, you know. But funnily enough, though, as acclaimed as this movie was, it didn't get an Oscar nom, like nothing, nada, which is kind of I don't give a shit about the Oscars. You know, it's just like, well, luckily Wicked for Good didn't get any nominations. I would have lost it if Wicked for Good got a Best Cinematography nomination and then this movie didn't. That is just wrong. It's like saying 2 + 2 = 10, which it's just mathematically wrong. You know, like it just doesn't. But that didn't happen. I've seen one of the other movies that was pretty much last year's darling, like The Secret Agent, the Portuguese one. Yeah, it's a good movie. I fell asleep, but
I don't think those two statements should go together.
The thing is, it's like I have a discussion with a mate of mine, and I think there's some filmmakers that might actually see that as a compliment because they make these sort of like
Christophe Gans.
There's these sort of like, you know, films where the craft is so just like relaxing and peaceful where like it falls asleep. I think there's like a Thai director who says like, he doesn't mind if people fall asleep in his movies, that kind of thing.
That's the approach I take to our podcast, Harvey.
Oh, yeah,
People are falling asleep to it. We've done our job.
Yeah, no, cool. I mean, I listen to our podcast when I want to fall asleep. It's pretty relaxing. Unless Risky puts on the sort of like AM radio sound, I think. So it's
good.
More relaxing. Yeah. I don't know. Like, well, first of all, I think Hollywood doesn't like Park Chan-wook because of what he did with the Writers Guild and all that shit. So he probably got snubbed. That's one thing. But I think as acclaimed as this movie was, I feel that this movie is still very underrated. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of the other international film nominees, but I feel like surely this movie is better than some of them. And if you look at the main picture, and I get these are films that have to sort of equate to the American audience, but you have this film, which is very much a commentary, you know, on capitalism and how the system dehumanizes you. And then you got this other film that's nominated called F1, where it's just a massive ad for F1, you know. That's the only reason it exists.
Yeah.
And I've heard it's a good movie. It's subjective, but surely that movie is not better than this movie, like as a best film
and also,
of the year.
The people that made that movie don't care if it wins an Oscar or not. That's like the amount that it took to produce that film is peanuts to the F1 people. It's like a tax write-off almost.
And that's not to say, like, I'm not sure Park Chan-wook really cares about the Oscars. He's a legend in his own right. I still think he's an underrated legend in a grand cinema kind of manner. Because people talk about, you know, when they talk about old cinema legends like Ingmar Bergman and Akira Kurosawa, for example, I think Park Chan-wook is as good as those guys. I want Park Chan-wook to get the recognition he deserves because he just makes these really banger movies. He has not made a bad film.
Except for those two,
Except for those two, which he's banished. I think we should review those movies at some point, Dan. Because I reckon I could get them. And I feel, I reckon those movies would probably still be better than some movies today. I'm just completely like enamored just by everything about this movie, you know, like the acting, just the choreography, the blocking, there's just so much like subtle shit in this movie, you know, that, and it's just crazy how it's done.
And you can feel it. I think that's the important thing. When, like, even if you don't notice all that stuff, you feel it. It comes across in the finished product. And that's why this movie feels different to Send Help. It's because of all that stuff.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Even
damn, it's good.
Risky always tells me out of the three new wave, which is like Park Chan-wook, Bong Joon-ho, and Kim Ji-won, Risky says that Park Chan-wook actually has like the best sound design in his movies. And this is a movie, no other choice doesn't even really need to have great sound design per se. But if you watch this in the movie, there's just all this really like subtle shit that's happening, because there's points where like I'm looking around to see is that like someone doing something weird in the cinema? But no, it's just like some ambient noise like in the movie, and it's like that's crazy, to sort of add that level of detail in this film. Yeah, like I aspire to have that much intention in a film. Like I wish I could have as much precision as that. I try to. It's hard. I think hopefully if I do get like a fucking proper budget one day, then maybe, I could try to spend a day to shoot only 5 shots. That would be fantastic. But we're doing like, fucking 40 shots or 20 shots in a day. And I can only do like 2 or 3 takes.
Have you explored AI, Tavi, as a time-saving measure? Maybe that'd help. Cut to Tavi's triggering me up in like folding me into a parcel. But yeah, I don't have that much more to say about this film, to be honest. It's really good. You should watch it if you're in Australia and somehow haven't seen it yet. Yeah,
I think the screenings are probably starting to limit themselves, so it'll come out on SBS On Demand at some point, and maybe even Netflix. But definitely watch it. It's great. Park Chan-wook, celebrate an auteur.
All right. But what did you think about these 4 movies? Which one was your favorite? Let us know. You can get in touch with us at 2asianblokes@gmail.com. You can join our Facebook group to be part of the conversation, or you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at 2asianblokes to see what we're up to. Welcome back. 2026, new energy, new movies.
Woo! Even though I just did a massive yawn, just then. New energy.
I'm going to cut that out, Tavi, so it's fine.
No, you have to leave it in there. Otherwise, I don't know. Can't think of anything clever.
You're gonna tie me up like a bonsai tree.
But no, look forward to there's some fun stuff kind of run up pretty soon, I think.
Yeah, probably more Asian stuff. Less slop, as Tavi said.
Yes, that's New Year's resolution. Less
New Year's
slop.
resolution 2026. Less slop. No
more recommending a reality show halfway through and then it ends up being kind of shit towards the end. No more Singles Inferno. That hasn't come out in its full. It's still releasing episodes.
Yeah. It'll probably be the last episode will probably go out the same time as this recording goes out.
Is it on Valentine's Day?
Yeah, probably. We're not covering it.
You're not covering it. It's too much effort.
Just to be clear.
I don't want to watch it. Man, an hour 30 minutes for an episode? Fucking hell, man. Yeah, editor. No more Singles Inferno.
All right, guys. We'll catch you later. We hope you enjoyed Singles Inferno.
Laters. Yes.